everyone, how is it going? I'm Alba Domingo Pérez and welcome to my channel, a safe place where primary school teachers can look for ideas for future classes. Lately, you've been leaving me a lot of comments asking me to talk about the school's organization and diversity, so I've combined them into one video. In today's video, I will be presenting my final exam of a school's organization and a student's diversity. So, let's get started! Today's video will be composed of two parts. The first part will consist of 3 blocks of questions that I will answer thanks to the contents that I have studied in class. And the second part that will be reflective about my time in this subject. So with all that said, the first part can begin. This part will be composed of 3 blocks with different questions that I will resolve. The first block I worked on consisted of a scenario where we had to search for ideas for improving the potential of our imaginary school in the area of diversity and attracting new students to the school. To begin with, I will talk about a school that I designed and its characteristics. The Alba Domingo School Center is in the heart of the region of Murcia, and it's a vibrant community with a mix of urban and rural settings. There are a significant number of students from different cultural, linguistic, and socioeconomic backgrounds in the student population. Inclusion and equal opportunities for all students are promoted by the school. Addressing the diverse requirements of students, fostering a welcoming atmosphere, and attractive, diverse student body are some of the obstacles. And now, as we can see, we were given a prompt that we had to use on an AI tool. In my case, I chose ChatGPT to search for 10 measures to improve the situation in my school. There were 10 measures to work with, but I finally chose 5 that I would work on. The first measure that I chose was cultural and linguistic inclusion programs. As we can imagine, this measure is highly appropriate as our school has a diverse student population. Students from different backgrounds can be integrated with these programs and they will be able to learn our language and traditions. The Spanish education law, LOMLOE, emphasizes inclusion and multicultural education, and that's exactly what we are searching for. The factors that are affected are the academic performance, as they will be able to understand what they are being taught, student engagement, because they will be able to attend a normal class, and a sense of belonging. They will feel like this is their home. The relationships that will be affected by this measure will be teacher-student, the connection with peers, as they will be able to communicate better, or even also beyond the classroom with other communities. The second measure is professional development for teachers. It is essential for our school to effectively train teachers to handle diversity that will directly improve educational outcomes. Professional development is highlighted by the LOE and the Organic Law of 2013 for the improvement of educational quality. Some of the factors that will be effective are the teaching quality, the student support for your classes, and a better classroom management. Teacher-student and teacher-parent interactions are affected. The third measure is parental engagement initiatives. This is crucial for engaging parents and improving the student outcomes as it fosters a supportive learning environment. It's supported by the LOE and the LOMCE, which encourage parental involvement in the classroom. Motivation, academic performance, and school community integration are some of the factors that affect this measure. Parent, teacher, and parent-school relationships will be affected. The fourth measure is student support services. This is very appropriate as enhancing assistance caters to a variety of educational requirements and promotes fairness. The LOE and Royal Decree of 1995 regulate educational services for students with special needs. The factors that are effective are academic achievement, emotional well-being, and social integration. The relationships that are effective are a student-student, a student-teacher, and a student-family. And lastly, the fifth and last measure is anti-bullying and inclusion campaigns. It's essential to promote respect and inclusion directly as it affects the school climate and student safety by directly affecting the school climate. Anti-bullying measures were mandated by the LOE and LOMCE, and the factors affected include school safety, student mental health, and school culture. Finally, the student-student and teacher relationships are affected. And now, which part of educational diversity is not considered by the AI proposed solution? It does not fully consider things like financial aid, free meals, and access to learning materials as measures to support students from low-income families, or even initiatives to help students from the LGBTQ community. The AA proposal covers a lot of connections, but it leaves out some. For example, a supportive community where older students mentor younger ones, or opportunities for collaboration with other schools in the region to share resources and best practices on inclusivity. In this second block, I will talk about the 5 main points of my program related to coexistence and the complexities that they are related to. The first is called Diversity and Inclusion Initiatives. To foster a sense of belonging among all students, it would include programs that celebrate diversity and encourage inclusion, taking into consideration the cultural complexity of the school environment. This point relates to the complexity of diversity and redundancy, since it talks about creating an inclusive environment. Secondly, there is conflict resolution and mediation. Effective communication and conflict resolution strategies are used to manage interpersonal relationships and promote peaceful interactions among students and staff. This complexity of emerging knowledge through connections is related to the fact that mediation helps to develop the ability to resolve conflicts. The third is cross-cultural education. It's about incorporating cultural awareness and appreciation into the curriculum to enhance empathy and respect for different perspectives among students. This point relates to the complexity theory and change in schools, as a school is always changing in its perspective of teaching. The fourth is community involvement. We establish relationships with local businesses and authorities to establish a network of support and reinforce values of coexistence, stressing the importance of establishing external connections. Engaging the community is a step closer to making diversity more normal because of the complexity of diversity and redundancy. Student leadership and empowerment is the fifth and last one. Student agency is emphasized in fostering a positive school culture by encouraging students to take leadership roles in promoting unity and mutual respect through student-led initiatives. The complexity of acquiring knowledge through connections is reflected in this, as empowering students to assume leadership roles will help them develop their skills. These initiatives reflect on me various leadership styles such as transformational, servant, participative, and collaborative. The third block will consist of the elements of the diversity care plan that I find most important for pupils with intellectual disability. I thought of 5. Develop individualized educational plans outlining specific learning goals, accommodations, and tailored support services for each student with intellectual disabilities, differentiated instruction including visual aids, manipulatives, and multisensory activities that can be used to cater to various learning styles, assistive technology integrating text-to-speech software, adaptive keyboards, and communication apps to help students access the curriculum, positive behavior using strategies like visual schedules and clear expectations to promote a positive environment, and foster collaboration with special educational teachers and service providers to make sure students receive necessary support. A learning activity with pupils could be collaborative storytelling. There would be small groups with all kinds of abilities, even people with intellectual disabilities. I would use visual prompts to initiate the storytelling. To encourage them, I would encourage peer collaboration based on individual abilities. As needed, I would offer assistance through visual or verbal prompts to ensure inclusivity and peer-based support would be available. Lastly, there would be flexible seating arrangements and sensory tools. And finally, we have reached the second part, where I will respond reflectively to some questions that you left on the comment section of my past video. The first one is, what is the mark that you deserve and why? From my point of view, my mark should be around a 7, as I have worked well on this final exam, but it's not really that creative as I wished it was. I mentioned all the main ideas anyways. Then, what is the most crucial idea about a school organization that have you learned in this course? It is probably the complexities proposed by Starkey, as it made me realize all the different difficulties a school may have, from new changes to being more inclusive. Is there any idea about school organization that you have explored in this course and couldn't imagine before? Yes, I could never have imagined all the different types of scheduling that exist in our world. I only knew about the traditional one, but now I can use a lot more. What is the most crucial idea about attention to diversity that have you learned in this course? It's all of the disability types and all the approaches that we have learned to implement them in our classes. I think this has made me think a lot about the needs of these children in the classrooms. Are you more aware of the importance of attending to diversity? Explain how. Yes, I have explained it before. When studying the needs of children with difficulties or difficult situations, I have realized how hard we must work to make young students feel included in all types of scenarios. And the last question of today's video. What have you learned preparing this video? I have learned the educational objectives related to diversity and the organization of my class that I would like to carry out in the future. At the same time, I have also made a first contact with the design of my own school simulations that I can always return to in the future. And that's all for today's video. After this video ends, you will be able to see the bibliography. Don't forget to leave a like and comment on this video. See you soon!